Todo is officially back with his rank being revealed, and even Nobara is back, and Nobara speaks to Mino-san, with us getting more pages of Yuji interacting with Todo's granddaughter. This is just insane to me, and I don't know why nobody is talking about it. The fact that yes, Todo is alive in Modulo, a retired sorcerer, and we even get the first time, real Nobara interactions in this chapter. Let's just get right into this with Todo and Yuji's connection still being prevalent to this day. Be sure to leave a like on the video, it helps out so much. Thank you very much, and of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo content like this. I've been posting every single day non-stop, so if you love JJK Modulo, I promise you, you are not gonna regret subscribing. But without further ado, let's just start. This actually comes from the extra page from volume 2, and I don't know why nobody is talking about this. Like, I haven't seen any YouTuber talk about this, any YouTube videos on this, nothing. So I guess I'll just be the one to talk about it. So we have 2 extra panels, Nobara being in them, Todo being mentioned, Todo's granddaughter potentially being here, and Yuji actually being here. More Yuji panels. So basically it starts off with the right side of the page, and basically this is 2 short stories of Mino-san looking for Yuji. And I don't know why I just called him Mino-san. I sound like such a anime weeb. I'm just gonna call him Mino. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, let's just read it from here. Look, I get why you want me to look for Itadori Yuji, but I have no clues on how to find the guy. So he's probably talking to the higher ups right now. Mino is responsible, the main priority for looking for Itadori Yuji, and then Mino actually gets a call. And now this girl, we don't know who she is, but I have a strong theory. I'm just gonna say, I think it's Todo's granddaughter, and there's evidence for it, which I'll explain after we read all this, but yes, this is very likely Todo's granddaughter. She says, Mino-san, it's been a while, what's up? And he says, you're forgetting something, bureaucrats are actually busy, unlike you. And he says, I'm sure you're just inviting me to get you to buy you something. And then she says, whoops, caught me red-handed, but come on, I'm sure you could afford to treat a friend. Mino says, maybe later, and just ends the call. And we see as she made that call, right next to her was Itadori Yuji. And basically, she just called Mino-san just to see if she has any leads on Yuji. And then they're watching something right now. I don't know if they're doing some sports betting or something like that, because they're seated with other people, they're watching something and this crowd's cheering, and she says, hot damn Yuji-san, you've got this in the bag. And he says, I'm not so sure, the cut-in is green, so if you have any maybe ideas, like is this horse racing like what Toji was watching, is this just football or some general sports, maybe you guys can like figure out which sport specifically they're watching. Actually, I'm recording this while I'm editing the video, but I just found out that this is actually Yuji gambling on the pachinko machine that he was actually accused of when the Higuruma judge man was actually trying to kill him. So it's just hilarious that in 2017, when Yuji was a minor, he went into a gambling establishment, and even in 2086, he's once again gambling once again, the same way that actually almost got him killed in the Kalyan games. Honestly, just hilarious. And it seems like this girl and Yuji actually made a bet on who's gonna win, and Yuji seems like he may be winning, although Yuji isn't too confident about it. So yes, she's just hanging out with Yuji. While everybody was looking for Yuji for the past few months, specifically these 2 months trying to find out where he is, this girl, whoever she is so close to Yuji. I mean, she's involved with Jujutsu Society, clearly enough that she's actually calling Mino as a close friend of them. And it sounds like she is a part of Jujutsu High and all that, but she's just not a bureaucrat or a higher up, just a regular person there, like probably a regular sorcerer, just like how Naname was or something. But in any case, like, she's close with Yuji. She's very close, saying Yuji-san, chilling with him, and she's not giving away his location. That's the main thing that shows they're close. She's not selling him out to anybody. So this whole time she's kept it secret, and actually getting to see Yuji during the 2 months time skip, like still in his hoodie as always. And I think this may be Todo's daughter, first of all because of her character, personality, how she's talking, but also because when she laughs, you can see her mouth actually makes a smile as she speaks in the final 2 pages. But the main reason I think this is Todo is because of the second panels. Usually when manga authors, and especially Gege, they kind of do these comic strips that we're watching now for volume extras, the 2 tend to be very connected. You could argue the connection is just it being Yuji, but the fact that Todo is the main point of the second one, the entire point, Todo is the main point of the one on the left, it could be possible that the person Yuji's hanging out with is Todo's granddaughter. And I'll read the second one for you so you can find out. So the left one, it's called Looking for Itadori Part 2. And this is the craziest part. This is real time, like during the 2 months. Mino is talking to Kugasaki. So yes, Kugasaki is alive. There were theories about maybe she's dead, because all we saw was a video recording of her explaining it in chapter 13. People thought that was one of the last video messages before she died. But no, she's actually alive and on the phone with Mino. And then Kugasaki Nobara, like this is the first time we've seen her talk in real time. That's not a video of her talking like actually here. She says, Todo Aoi may know something. And then right here, Mino tells us the grade, the rank of Todo. You mean the first grade sorcerer Todo. And that is kind of disappointing. I really thought Todo would have reached special grade level. Of all the sorcerers to have the potential to reach special grade level, some of them are like guaranteed. Takaba, Higuruma, Maki, Hakari, Itadori, Yuta, and Yuji, but I really thought that Todo would have reached that level as well, considering he's just such a genius and he was already a grade 1 sorcerer at like 17, 18 years old, and especially after he got the swap training and special grade level reinforcement and output, I guess he just never reached special grade status. But he is retired. He is the ex-first grade sorcerer Todo. And this is the funniest part of all this. Mino says, we've got no knowledge about his whereabouts. If you could contact him for us. And then funny enough, Nobara says, I can't. And then Mino asks Nobara, well, who can then? And in the funniest page, Nobara says, I'm sure Itadori can. And then Mino is just like stun-locked when he hears this, like actually jaw drop, because the whole point of fighting Todo is to find Yuji. He's the only person who can contact Yuji, but the only person who can contact Todo who no one can find is also Yuji. So it's like, you need Yuji to find Todo, but you need Todo to find Yuji. You can't contact either of them, funny enough. And then Mino says, then who are we gonna find first? And Nobara says, I mean, everyone aside from Itadori hates his guts. And this is of course in reference to nobody liking Todo. I'll show the pages now as well. I got it from Dynamic Weeb's Twitter, just once again reminding me of this moment, but when there was that baseball scene in the anime and manga, and then they hit Todo in the face, everybody really liked it, saying, nice throw, nice pitch. Only Yuji actually likes Todo, which is sad. Todo's awesome. I don't get why people don't like him, but fair enough, it is what it is. But yeah, so Todo has just gone into seclusion or hiding for whatever reason, and he's close to Itadori, so it turns out the only person who can actually find Todo is Yuji, and vice versa. So if they had just contact with Yuji, or even just Todo for example, they would have been able to find Yuji. And that's very sweet. Even in his old age of 87, 88, Yuji and Todo are still close, they still have contact. I really like to see that even after all of these 68 years, they're still close friends, and it sounds like the closest friends actually. Where even Kugasaki Nobara can't find Yuji, but Todo can actually find Yuji. He would know where Yuji is. And that just goes to always show Todo was the older brother figure for Todo, or I guess I should say for Yuji, sorry. I mean, even when Yuji was at his lowest during the Shibuya incident and was actually going to die and give up, Todo was the one who stepped in and motivated him and sprung him back to life. He's always guided him, trained him. Even in the Sukuna fight, he was the one who didn't let him give up and supported him. So I imagine even at Yuji's older age, he'll always see Todo as that figure for, which is just very sweet. It's very nice, very cool to see Todo being confirmed alive. Nobara finally just having a true confirmation that he was actually alive, because so many people thought she died and that the video recording was just an older one. So it's great to know she's alive too. And also this girl at the end, honestly, she's got to be somebody's granddaughter. I mean, it's always possible she could just be a regular sorcerer who we'll find out later. Maybe we'll never actually find out much about her, but it's just too much of a coincidence, the fact that Todo is the only one who can find him, and this girl hanging out with Yuji has a character similar to Todo, very like lovey-dovey sort of character, very outgoing type of character as well, and she's just hanging out with Yuji chilling, not selling him out at all. And all of it just tying back to Todo being a main theme. It's pretty funny to know that if Mino had just hanged out with this girl, he would have actually met Itadori Yuji, but because he just refused her and flat out, I mean, it's kind of calmer in that way. I get Mino, he was busy, but still, to just act the way he did, he really doesn't like her for some reason, and that reminds me of Todo. The same way Mino doesn't like her at all and doesn't want to hang out, it really reminds me exactly how people treated Todo, and like the only person who likes her or hangs out with her is Yuji, the same way with Todo. She's got an eccentric personality. I just think it really suits if this was Todo's granddaughter. I think it would match so well that even after Todo is old and Yuji still is friends with him, he's, you know, he's chilling with his granddaughter and stuff, there's still that connection even after generations. That is just awesome. And just having Nobara actually be alive, actually speak, Todo being confirmed alive, it's all so cool. This extra page of Yuji, I just thought it was fantastic. Honest to God, this was awesome. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you actually think before JJK Modulo ends, we'll get to see a panel of old man Todo? I hope we get to do. Imagine Todo actually shows up. We have Ui showing up, old woman, Nobara showing up, Todo's gotta show up as well at some point. That's my theory. But leave a like on the video, it helps out so much. Thank you very much. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo content just like this. If you love JJK Modulo, I assure you, you're not gonna regret subscribing. But hey, that's all from me guys. Have a wonderful day and take care.